All right, guys, we got something really crazy right here. I'd never thought that I'd see something that looks this good that is not officially made or produced by the brand itself, but the best Air Jordan 1 that I have ever seen outside of the actual 85 Jordan 1 is right here. And I cannot believe it. I wish that I had a soundbite of that. Isn't that the kid from...
I've looked it up and it's really hard to find.
Yeah, I've tried to look it up too, but it's from like...
Einstein's.
Yeah.
I cannot believe it.
I know, I wish that I had that damn thing.
And then a little rocket with his little antenna jingle.
Mm-hmm. What a great kid show.
I know.
Like, great. I love it. And I shouldn't. Actually, why not? Hey, what's good, guys? My name's Chris. Welcome back to the official WearTesters.com YouTube channel. Today we have probably the most interesting thing that I have ever held in my hands. These look great. This is the non-Jordan Air Jordan 1, straight up like remake of an 85 classic. I have lots of thoughts on this. I'm gonna try my best to be concise, but forgive me if I'm all over the place because it's a lot. Speaking of a lot, they were expensive as shit. These are about $600. Yes, I know, you can lose your shit on the keyboard right now. But again, they don't make them like this. And by they, I mean Jordan Brand. So if they're not gonna do it, somebody's clearly gonna do it. And if they do it well, like this, because we've seen these bootleg type of ones before, this is what I want. This is what I want from the brand. But because they're around too much, like I said, man, somebody's gonna beat them to the punch. They already did. And with that being said, these make me wanna sell like every shoe that I own just so I could buy a few more of these. Like I need those shadows, I need a Chicago, the black and reds, maybe even a black and royal. They just look that good. But either way, this shoe right here is from overseas. It's from at least an Instagram account called Vibe Remake Labs. They're supposed to be fully handmade Air Jordan 1 bespokes. And yes, in my opinion, these are bootlegs or fakes because again, like by definition, anything that is not made by the brand and then sold by the brand or by its retail partners is fake. However, I do know that there's an aftermarket. Does that mean that anything sold on the aftermarket is fake? Not really. I mean, obviously there's authentic pairs being bought, sold, and traded, but this is just not one of them. There's no way that you can say that this right here is an authentic Air Jordan 1, but they are made really well. So that's the thing that like is really surprising for me. Now, the reason that these are on my radar are for two reasons. One of which is because I have an Instagram account and I see these all the time on Instagram, but I was not fully convinced on buying a pair, mostly because of the price, until a friend of mine, his name is Jay. He's known on the internet as Shanghai Soul. We've had him on the channel before. We did a whole like discussion topic and everything like that where like all of the shoes that we love that sell out so fast here in the States just sit overseas and they don't move. There's no resale over there. And again, when he bought his pairs, I think he bought two, I had hit him up immediately and I was like, yo, how are those? And he was like, man, they are fantastic. That's all I needed. I was like,
shut up and take my money.
They even came with this handwritten note that says, thanks for your trust. That's cool, man. I dig it. Now the shoe itself is kind of a blend between like a retail shoe and not a retail shoe. And mostly that's with the tooling itself. So the tooling is obviously an Air Jordan 1 tooling. It's a rubber cup sole, rubber outsole. The traction looks just like what you see on the 85 cut of the Air Jordan 1. The outsole is pretty much identical. The midsole itself is slightly different. So we have the same texture that you see on the 85 Air Jordan 1 cup sole, but the shape is just a little bit different. It almost looks like a blend between this cup sole and a traditional Jordan 1 high that we see or have seen over the past like 20 plus years. However, inside the shoe, there's still a polyurethane wedge, and inside the polyurethane wedge is still an air sole unit. So I asked him where he gets these from. He would not tell me. I do believe a factory is making these under the table, but that's just my assumption, not fact. And then on top of all of that, the 85 cut Air Jordan 1, if you watched our review on these, is board blasted the same way that MJ's was back in the day and all of the retail pairs that had released back in 85. The pair that I have right here is not board lasted, but it does have a leather last, or it's leather lasted. I don't even know if that's like a term, but anyways, inside it's leather. And then on top of that is still a polyurethane insole. It's not quite as thick as what's what's in the 85 cut Jordan 1, but it is a really thick polyurethane insole nonetheless. It also has the Vibe Remake Lab logo branding on the heel. These, by the way, are super legit. Like, this is very close to what the brand actually uses in their products. I don't know how they're getting these. I don't know how they're getting the midsoles and stuff like that, or the cup soles. It's very interesting. Whatever your thoughts are, like your speculation and all that stuff, feel free to leave them in comments, because your guess is as good as mine. Now, where this shoe levels up from any Jordan 1 released by the brand is the overall shape. The shape of this is gorgeous. This is probably the best looking Air Jordan 1 that I've ever seen outside of the actual 85 version of the Jordan 1. It's just insane to me that this person was able to take an 85 pair, cut them up, sacrifice it so that he can do this. You know what I mean? Like, he like reverse engineered all of the patterns, all the molds. I just think it's so crazy that this person did this and the brand is just lollygagging. I'd prefer to buy this shoe from Jordan Brand, but I can't because they won't make it. Can they make it? Yes. Why won't they make it? I don't know. That's the part that really like bothers me. I will say though that if the brand is watching, and you can bet your ass, they're paying attention to this. How? I hope that they use this person to teach them how to do it right. Also, a friend of mine that I know, I've known him for a long time since doing YouTube. His name is Russ Bankston. I've been reading his stuff since I was a teenager. He used to work for Slam Magazine, then he was writing a lot of articles for Kicks, also from Slam Magazine. Basically, I sent him a picture of these and I was just like, yo, like, you're an OG in this. He's been having Jordans since the original 85. And I was just like, what do you think about this stuff? I asked him if I can use this quote and he approved. So here we go. He says that he does not really have an issue with replicas, especially when the company itself churns out. He said it before, but retros to him are replicas because they're not made the same. They're not made with the same materials. They're not made from the same factories or even from the same blueprints as the originals. I found that to be a really interesting take, and all of that is true. So retros, even though they're officially made and released by the brand, they're not exactly like the originals, but they are authentic products nonetheless. Wow. Now, as far as the materials go on this particular shoe, everything is built with quality leathers. I am very impressed. Like, the shoe itself, it's immaculate. But yeah, all the leather on here is fantastic. You got an actual nylon tongue. You have his own Vibe Remake Lab logo behind the tongue. You also have hand-stitched, handmade in China at the collar, which I think is fantastic. And I already know that there's gonna be a bunch of buttheads in the comments and stuff being like, oh, handmade crap in China. Zip it. Everything you own, bro, it's all made over there, all of it. Now, they came with a few different sets of laces. They came with black, red, as well as these like weird, what color would you call that? That's not quite cream.
I would say it's a typical sail.
Okay.
As I said off camera, I like the sail laces because it makes the midsole make sense to me.
Well, so that's the only thing that I have a problem with, is that they all come with this colored midsole, like every single pair, and I don't love that. I wish that it was just white, but I get it. They're made a little bit different. They're made with their own flavor, their own twist. It's not a direct copy, even though it is. And so for that, I can respect it. Also, for those of you guys wondering if this sole is like cheap, like you can bend it and stuff, no, this is hard as
That's what she said.
Like this, I can't squeeze it for sh. You can't twist it for sh. They feel like that you can play in it. I don't know where they get these. That's probably the thing that I'm most like, where was this from? What factory made this with? There is a factory out there with these plans and with these tooling trays, and they are doing some that Jordan Brand is not going to be happy about. Now, as far as their fit is concerned, they do fit true to size. So if you were planning on grabbing a pair, that's what I would do. I would just order your regular size. I think this is the best Air Jordan 1 that I've ever held in my hand. And it's not from Jordan Brand. I think that's the part. I almost feel like I'm betraying something that I grew up loving, even though they don't care an ounce for me. So that's where I'm kind of at right now. I think that this is a fantastic shoe. Again, handmade with quality materials. You can just see the love that was put into the shoe.
It's beautiful.
But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. Thanks for all the support. Again, I heard all of you guys asking my thoughts about these. Here it is. It's a fantastic shoe, as a shoe. I know that some people are not gonna like to hear that, and that's just tough. But with all that being said, sound off below and let us know your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, guys, have a good one.
He's so sad.